Yo. What's going on? We're gonna kick it off pretty quick here. I'm trying to go into the wee hours of the night. And you know I gotta watch Rick and Morty at 10:32. Big black man, I know. I'm not doing enough. Recreations, I never am. I mean that. I'll get back to those very soon. I can wait for you, AK Square, if you want. If I get to you. I only got about 21 left. I think we burned through all the joke tracks at the end of the submission last time. At the end of the stream last time. I have all caps like 80% done. There's like 2 sounds I need to do. Yeah, it's like almost done. Was that finished on the first one, really? It's almost done, but there are these sounds, these couple reverse things I haven't figured out. Just a couple little things I haven't totally finished. Same with this one, as requested. This one's like so close. But I just have to fix the drums a little bit. They're missing some of the groove originally. One sec. Have a little bit more groove originally. I was gonna stream, I mean, I was working on this earlier. I was gonna stream while I made it, and then I didn't. This one I started with the drums. What really sing about me? I need to redo all the samples because they're slightly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This one I started with the drums. And I almost streamed it once I started on it, but I didn't. I don't remember why. But I'm gonna start getting back to regularly streaming remakes and streaming beat making sessions. I'll figure out. It won't be super long sessions, it'll probably be like half an hour at a time. But it'll be something. Yeah, fire guy. Yeah, I know the chops aren't 100%. That's just where I was at the moment. John Hughes, if you go back through the Livestream playlist, there are some beat making sessions you can go ahead and watch if they haven't been muted for the samples that I played. So you can go take a look at some of those, but I'll get back and start doing it soon. They'll probably be in the daytime, so. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick off this dang critique. Finishing off the dang critique. Starting off with Sampo. Sampo. This is your first time submitting? What? What happened to my internet? There we go. Alright, Sampo. Let's see what you got for us. I like those chords. I'm gonna get tired of them if it doesn't switch up at some point, though. That's a cool sound. It sounds like you record that yourself. That snare is super quiet. Like I like the feel, even if the drums aren't really killing it. The kick's decent, but the snare and the like triangle clap thing is way too quiet. Definitely got to switch up the chords at some point, though. I like that hi-hat. Snare is still way too quiet. I mean, it's not going to change. I like all those snare rolls and fills. Feeling the bass, although some of the slides were a bit too dramatic. It's hard to tell if that synth with the like vocoding sound. I don't know if it's actually vocoded or if it's just like the patch. That was sort of a bit much. had something like on the 8th notes I was into. I think I was into those 10th parts, but they might have just been playing too frequently on that one anyway. You could have spaced it out, have some instead of like just having it jam for so long, just drop in and out with those riffs. I'd definitely crank those drums though. Would be the first start. Not bad at all. It's got some good potential. I would try and find another chord pattern you could switch to for a bridge or a B section or something. That's pretty dope. Good start. Now Sampo. Good first submission. Good first submission for the stream. Good first submission from him. From you. All around, I'm into it. All right, next up, we got Alexander Wayne. Track Cycle Bible. The tag Bernie 2016. Casino vibes. Oh yeah, someone was asking if they wanted to use a beat of mine in the video. Just credit me, I don't really care. Sandurz. Just put whatever you want. Just link to my shit some way or another. I think this is way too slow. It's sort of got some cool sounds, but the sample, you really went over the top with the reverb and with the just compression. It's just sort of too much overall. All the synths and the samples are taking up way too much space. They're not leaving any room for the drums. So the drums aren't really cutting through like they should. Which can be an aesthetic choice, but I think this track is worse off for it. Whatever you, that like filtered ass chopped up drum break sort of cool. It sounds like white noise. It's cool. And then you're trying to do some melodic stuff, and there's nothing's like out of key, but nothing, you can't decipher any melody or anything because it's all just happening. Either super long sustained notes, or it's the same loop over and over again, or it is just, well, it's pretty much just those two things. Nothing really comes out and like speaks as like the main melody. The rest, it's all just sort of there thrown together. And yeah, so there's sort of too much going on. Nothing's really standing out in front. Everything on a musical level and on a sonic level. The drums weren't really hitting because there was so much going on top of them. But that's some cool atmosphere going on though, for sure. That was Alexander Wayne. Alright. Next up, we got Monsoon. I think you usually have dope shit. Let's see what you got for us this time. Quiet ass intro. You can probably hear the cicadas outside my window louder than that. But it's about to come in. The bass is straight up indecipherable. The bass, I had no idea what was happening. That was, if you had, I don't know how many notes you had. Oh shit, I forgot to stream on Twitch. Damn. My bad, Twitch. You were the first one to ask. Oops. That bass. Damn, that was almost 15 minutes it took me. Sorry about that. Thanks, Renzo, for pointing that out. That bass was just straight up didn't have... It didn't have... It was just... The pitch was just straight up all over the place because the portamento, the gliss, whatever, was turned way up. Like, that was the slowest gliss I've ever heard. So it never got to a real note. It was just sliding around all over the place. The drums were hitting decently. I mean, there was a cool, like, Asian sort of sound. What you were playing wasn't the most interesting thing, but it had some cool sounds going on. If the bass line had a real bass line, that'd be sort of dope. But, it didn't, so I just couldn't tell what was going on. Damn, sorry, Twitch people. My bad. If y'all are over here and it's supposed to be on, and the Twitch stream has not started, make sure to call me out. Because I have to start YouTube, and then you have to do this whole thing and preview YouTube and sync YouTube. And Twitch is a separate thing that I have to start the output to, and I just straight up forget. So my apologies. Okay, that was Monsoon. That was just a sketch he submitted. It wasn't like a final track or anything. He just said it was an idea for a track. I would say make the bass more legible. This is Fresco United. This is direct upload. Let's hear it. There was some rhythmic mismatch between those first sample chops and the drum break. Maybe filter out some of those frequencies in the sample. Or change the pitch or time stretch or whatever. Chop it more. I wish the snare had a bit more high end. Yeah, I hear a little bit. You hear some of the hi-hats are like shaker or something in the sample, getting ahead of the drum loop, and it's problematic. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do some tracks, at least one, off Compton, when I get the chance. Says it needs a better drum break. I agree. It's sort of a cool drum break, but sort of not at the same time, in a outweigh that. Most drum breaks are sort of cool, just to start with. The really good ones sort of elevate themselves. This one, I think it could use some more high end in the drum break. I don't know if you filtered it or if it's just that way. Some people like the drums, some people think they should get swapped out. Got a couple different opinions going on there. I think you should at the very least layer in another snare. If you can't get some more high end out of that snare, just a little bit for a little extra crisp. The sample's cool, but just make sure they don't sort of separate and pull apart from one another, timing wise. So I don't know if I'm not sure if it was the way the drums were chopped or the way the sample was chopped, but there was definitely a mismatch there. That was pretty cool though. Fix those timing errors and add a bass line. I think that'd be a good ass start. That's a good ass start to something. You could take it somewhere super dope for sure. All right, that was Fresco United B-Boys. Next up, we got Amsterdam. Dom, I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. Where you at? Are you laying low? Let's hear what he's got for us. Chops are sort of just I like those last three, the ascending notes. All this part though is not that great in terms of building something from the chops. Turn down the hi-hat. Try and layer in some more natural drum sounds. Those are a little... I never know what to call drums that sound like that, but there's definitely a sound with some of those samples. They're like a little too squashed. They're a little too clean. I think you could throw some stuff with more sonic character on there. Sort of open up the pattern a little bit, bring down that hi-hat. And the chops definitely aren't really doing it for me. I like the end of the phrase chops, but the main sequence of chops is a bit boring. The sample sounds like it has some cool textures going on, but those chops just aren't really doing it for me. People in the chat are saying it really needs a rapper. Doesn't quite stand alone on its own. But yeah, I think that's what I think about that. Maybe do some different chops, different part of the sample maybe, and sort of open up the drums a little bit. As Amsterdam. What's up, Henry, in the Twitch chat? How you living? All right. Next up, we got Kai Wiston. On SoundCloud, let's see what he's got for us. this goes. The samples are sort of cool. I think the drums are way too buried. I think some people make the decision to say, I don't really want my drums to be that loud. I think that's a dumb thing to say. I think there's a range within of like where drums are loud enough. You could be at the bottom of that range if you wanted to be, stylistically speaking, but I think these are too quiet, way too quiet. Even if we still get the rhythm from the sidechain dip, it'd be nice to actually hear the drums. So it's good for a commercial or an ad. Hype and chill at the same time. I agree with those judgments out of the chat. That was pretty dope. I mean, I think, though, if you're going to have drums at all, they need either to be way louder, or you can just take them out and leave that sort of percussion you had going. Because where they were now was just annoying to have to, like, listen for them. So, you know, love them or leave them, am I right? That's it. Turn them up or cut them out. All right, that was Kai Wiston. All right. He always does some atmospheric shit. I remember his other track was tight. Next up, we got CMB. Direct upload called Bum Dirty. Let's hear it. This is very quiet. I don't know if it's gonna come in. Turn it up a little. I'm afraid this is gonna come in super loud. I thought this was going to come in way faster from that intro. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. That's what sort of vibe this is giving me. Once everything comes in, I feel it more with the bass. I think the drums are a little... Sounds like everything's lacking fidelity in the wrong places. It's a cool sample with the delay on there. On that first hit. I think that to really work at that tempo, I think you need a lot going on. And yeah, people in the chat are saying it needs more layers, needs more cool ideas. I think I thought it was going to come in like fast. And so I think there should be some faster component. If it either Because right now it's sort of laid back, and it's definitely a good start. I think for being as laid back as it is, there needs to be more going on. There can be less going on if everything's cranked up a little bit more, energy-wise, like if the drums were a bit bigger. Because the bass had some sort of like slidey. The bass sort of really filled things out. It had some good slides going on, some cool stuff. But on the whole, there was a little lacking, but nothing was like wrong. Definitely a cool start. I would just work on adding some, just filling it out for more of the track. That's dope though. I would say keep working on that. Just keep building. Don't make it too cluttered, but just make sure it's full. Alright. Next up we got Garbs. Let's see what he's got for us. Oh, let me turn this back down. This one might be quiet too, actually. Y'all ever play the Toy Story 2 like N64 game? It sounds like some music from that. And one of the like nighttime spooky sneaky levels. Some of the panning is a bit much. Especially because it's sort of unbalanced. If you're going to go hard right and hard left, you need to sort of keep things balanced. There's just some snare that's filling in the right channel. But nothing ever balances out equally on the left. I don't like the heartbeat kick pattern going the whole time. I like the ride you brought in. But there's a bit too much reverb on everything. And the sounds aren't that great to start with. So when you throw reverb on it, it definitely kicks it right up the corny ladder a few notches. And in this part, it sounds like there's a couple kicks or like a bass and a kick that are sort of battling each other for that low end. And they're just cluttering and taking away. One will hit and it'll take away from the next time the other hits. And it just goes back and forth like that. So I would say ditch the reverb and try and figure out what it is you want it to be. If you want it to be like sort of sparse and hit harder, if you want it to be like soft and sort of moody, try and do it without delving into that sort of reverbed video game territory if possible. That was Garbs. Thanks for sending in though. Keep working on that. Alright, next up we got Gearhouse with his track Raoul Duke. I'll be right back. I'm gonna play this. I'm still listening, don't worry. Super Mario 64, Bowser Battle. Pretty old. I'll say the snare pattern makes no sense, which is weird because everything else sort of makes sense. And it's super quiet. The snare is super quiet. You could definitely crank that up and then put it just on the... Take out a lot of those hits. It's just a confusing pattern. That note's super corny. It's just got a lot of corny sounds going for it. So I would try and swap out pretty much all the synths, all the drums. The kick was decent, kind of, not really. The snare had a really weird pattern. I would go take some drums from a song that you really like the drums in, just straight up steal the pattern, and then sort of change it, because it seems like what you were doing on the snare was just confusing. I would say you want to keep it basic before you really try and push any weird rhythms, and that one was just, it wasn't doing, the snare was the weirdest part of the programming for sure. So I would say work on your snare patterns and then experiment with other sounds and shit. But thanks for sending in. Keep working. Next up, we got Yahweh. Oh. I'll just turn that snare up. There's some timing mismatch on part of the drums. I'm sort of feeling like the drum pattern. Like the snare like hit after the attack. That was weird. The sample was like starting weird. The sample chops are sort of cool. Some of those chords are a little goofy. Let me go through a little more. Where did you play this? Ending every 4 bars on that major chord is goofy. Strings don't sound that great. Some of the keys you keep bringing in and like where they just come in and play a couple notes is cool. So those were cool. I would mix up the chords so you're not doing that same resolution every 4 bars where you hit that major chord. You can wear out the welcome on that, and it loses its luster when it's sort of a cool unexpected change and you do it every 4 bars. The drums, there was some really weird stuff going on with the snare sample. Like, we were missing the start of the snare sample a couple times. It was like weird and offbeat. Some people like some of the drums. Static says the kick is alright. Kingdom Fire Guy says he likes the drums but not the programming. I sort of feel the other way. I liked parts of the programming. I thought there was some cool stuff going on. Parts of it. I don't think any of it really needs to be that far off the beat. Just a hair. But I would do like quantize 50% once or twice. And then see where that takes you. And and then fix up some of those weird snare attacks. It was weird. And then having the sample chops hit with the kick every time is a little too much. I would say maybe do it every other time or not at all. But I was sort of liking some of the programming, and the drum sounds are sort of cool. Maybe not the hi-hat, but the snare and the kick were okay. Sort of. Once you fix out those snare issues, if you layer it with something else, that fills it out a little bit. That was a cool start, though, for sure. All right. Thanks for sending in. Uh-oh, next up we got Killer Mantis. Finally here. In the chat. First time in a while. Oh, Renzo, I see you tweeted me too. My bad. You were really trying to let me know. Damn. Hit him with the Lex. Sounds like...
We just received very abnormal readings from your life support systems. Are you okay?
Okay. I like the switch way more. That's all part of the beat. I think the snare's a little weak. Lord King says he'd like to snare up a little bit more. I like the second half a lot more. The first half, there were a couple things like the main like synth was a little it had too much. It was like super soft, and some of the notes were almost too quiet. So there was too much dynamic range on that. And then the drums were like lo-fi sounding, but not in a good way. Just like ripped off YouTube sort of sound on the first half. I like the transition with all the weird error sounds and shit. And then the second half was tight all around. But the first half was just sort of off just by a little bit in a couple different areas, like just missing a couple things here and there. It didn't really come together, and then right when I was sort of starting to maybe see, then it switched. That was a tight way to switch. What up, 32 Keys? Been a while. Alright, that was Killer Mantis. Always coming through with some heat. Alright, next up we got Mike Johnson, Quai. Johnson. Oh, you are. I feel like you're never into my critique, Mantis. You always just say LOL. That's happened before. Okay. Quai. Let's see what we got. Sample might be hard to handle as well. that in a minute. Jake one just plays. Definitely milking the sample for all it's worth. Crazy sandwiches with another plan. It's called the recipe. I got my special sauce. I got my seasoning. What you got for me? Are you feeling this? What am I rapping for? I never know. Damn. This is super dope. Yeah, like when I heard what you had in the intro, I was worried that it would be annoying, but what you did is dope. Damn. Damn, that was tight. That was my favorite so far. Nice and simple. Good way to use that sample, which could have easily been way too much to handle. Sometimes you'll hear some shit that's like, you'll find some samples that have some super dope like textures and drum shit going on, but it's like too proggy and you can't really tame the like insane guitars that are going on. You definitely found the parts. You found the parts that didn't have the guitars going on and used those to your advantage, and then you found some parts that you could tame with the crazy guitar and put those to work. So that was tight. Damn, Mike Johnson. Okay. Definitely into that. 32 Keys asks, what's my opinion on big producers using sample loops? Meaning stuff like when people sell libraries of shit made specifically to sample, so they're like royalty free. You'll pay like $500 and get Kingsway. They have all those libraries like 0 to 100. Sample some shit out of there. I don't really see anything wrong with it. It's sort of like just because they're made to sample. I mean, there's a million records out there that people have sampled that would fall under the same category of like made to sample, where there's just loops sitting out there ready for the taking. In this case, they're manufactured for that, which is better for almost everyone. They get that upfront cut. Then you don't have to worry about the royalties, or they're already clear. Just it simplifies things. So I don't really see an issue with that. I think if it sounds good, it sounds good. And a lot of those libraries sound good. That was tight. I was super into that track. Alright, next up we got Peace. This track, Stilo. Let's hear it. Is that a steel drum sample? Or like a Hong drum or something? I don't think it takes away from the producer using those sample libraries at all. Because, I mean, sampling a hot sample is only ever 1/10 of it. And then even the beat is only ever half of it. It's getting in the right hands. I don't think it takes away from the producer at all. So let me run this back. So I like the samples going on. I don't like the drums. I don't like the drum sounds. Or the programming with the I think you could do some dustier shit and some more just sort of open, less busy drum patterns, since there's so many notes going on in that sample, the way you've got it chopped up. You could really take advantage of that and let the drums just sort of add some punch instead of building too much rhythm on top of it. Killer Mantis says it's repetitive. AK Sprayer says it's dreamy. Yeah, I mean, it's only 50 seconds long, so I think you could mix it up. That sample would get old after a while, but you could throw a bass line in there. You could mix it up some other ways. I think the drums could be, I think the drums could be simplified and then get some dustier sounds for sure. Drail, you like this koozie? This was some comedy tour. Some small comedy tour that I went to. And they had these koozies. So I took one. It's kind of I always forget what it says. I just grab it. And then people are like, Jesus Christ, what does shitty kisses mean? It's not meant to be taken literally. That's just what they named their tour. Alright, AK Sprayer is next. Okay, you're here. I don't have to wait for you. Let's hear what you got for us. Oh boy. You ready for me to shit all over it? Alright. Your pictures. Is that your face on a copier? Alright, we got the Skyrim emblem as the album art. You got a goofy avatar. Alright, this is AK Sprayer in the YouTube chat. Nick Paul on SoundCloud. Let's see what he's got. Yeah, I said koozie. What else would you call this shit? Hi, Tiffany Fong. Alright, that piano, there's a nasty note there at the end. Hi, what is this? I'm getting a lot of people asking, what is this? I'll let y'all explain if you feel like it. Oh boy. Alright, these melodies are straight ass. One, you've got a chord, so whatever sample you're playing is has two notes happening. And that melody might work if you're playing the one note, but since there's two notes every time you play it, there's only so many things you can play where it's in the right key. When you're playing one note, you got a lot of options. When there's multiple notes every time you play it, There's like 4 things you can do. And so you've got these 2 notes that are moving around together, and the way that they're moving around together is almost guaranteed to go out of key at some point. So that was my least favorite part of that was those piano parts. The bass I couldn't really hear. It sounded like an atmospheric mismatch, where it was sort of like a funk something live bass, like sounded almost like Flea playing some shit. I don't know. And you had this like moody thing that didn't really fit. I couldn't quite even hear what was happening melodically, so I couldn't tell you if that part fit. That was in key. Damn, Guantanamo Bay type beat. That's good. I would say the strongest part were the drums, even though the drums were pretty weak. They were very much just on the grid, sort of boring. They didn't have a lot of energy or like vibe to them. But the drum sounds weren't the worst sounds ever. I've heard far worse drum sounds, even though the programming was a little boring. So I don't know if there's anything I would keep from there, but I would definitely get rid of the piano. The bass, I couldn't tell you. I just couldn't hear it. And the drums, I would work on the programming. Because that programming was just it just gave me no life. It instilled in me no energy. It was just some drums hitting. So that tempo wasn't great. I wouldn't say there was anything that was really a hit in that. So, thanks for sending in. I mean, that's the whole point. If it's bad, who cares? You're here to find out what's not working, so. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right. Thanks, AK Sprayer. I hope that was helpful in one way or another. I hope you keep sending shit in. It's always fun to see people's journeys, their progress, so on and so forth. 32 keys. Would I be interested in doing a collab sample? Like, would you chop the samples and I do the drums or something? Yeah, sure, whatever. Send me something on SoundCloud or message on YouTube, whatever. I'll take a look. I may or may not finish it, depending. But I'll take a look at it and let you know. Why not? Why not? All right, next up we got Ocean Spice in this track, Opium. Let's hear it. Chill trap. Okay. Another super quiet snare. And it's not a great snare either way. Danny Hughes, nah. Only ever your own beat, really. Because it's for you to get feedback on. Even if it's like your friend's shit. The vocal samples in the synths and shit are cool. The drums are a little lacking though. I know they're supposed to be laid back, but I'm not judging them on like not knocking my fucking socks off. I'm just judging them on the quality of the sounds, the textures. The reverb on the snare is super goofy. And it's a goofy snare sample, so I would swap that out. The hi-hat is right on the edge. it could work with the right other supporting drums. Uh-oh, we're gonna switch. I don't like the attack on the kick, like it's got that nasty sort of shoebox sound. No man, bass cut, young, come through. Bass war out here, grinding, what it do? Big area, no, stay slaying out. Yeah, that would definitely show up on a little beat tape. The snare is my biggest point of contention for sure. Like the vibe was cool, it wasn't the most unique vibe in the world, but the drums didn't really back it up as well as they should have. That was Ocean Spies, thanks. All right, we got 6 more. All right, gonna finish in time for Rick and Morty, run a couple errands before Rick and Morty. Excellent, excellent. Next up we got G Ammo. Direct upload, let's see what he's got for us. Okay, starting off with some panning. I would turn up the swing on the kick. The MC sample is sort of goofy. Is that your tag or like something? The fucking Yu-Gi-Oh guy. I'll never escape. I think that might be your tag. The chops aren't like the greatest chops, but they're not. They're doing the trick with the drums anyway. Like it's pretty basic, but it's working. On a basic level. I think that bass is in the sample because you're sort of hitting those chops. I hear the bass starting over. I might filter out the bass and do your own bass. These are the HS 5s, 5-inch main cone. And then I got the 10-inch sub. Although I'm about to get some, where the fuck are those speakers actually? I'm getting some review units. I gotta review some speakers from this company I never heard of. They're sending me some shit. I don't get to keep them, but I get to use them for a while. I'm waiting for those. This could use a lot more variety for sure. Yeah, I mean, so that was like a good start. I would say it needs some more variety. I would put more swing on the kick, just a little bit. I think that's your producer tag, the MC for Life Forever stuff, so that's fine. I don't think that's actually part of the beat. I would filter out the sample from the bass from the sample and do your own bass. I think you could get some more interesting stuff going on, and I think you'd have a pretty solid track after that. So, for the critique, yeah. No raps, ideally. I mean, I listen to music with vocals on it just for the critique. I get mad because then I can't hear the beat. I would recommend these. I think these have a lot more clarity than the rockets. Depending on what size rockets you have, these might be lacking in bass if you get the 5s. But I think the high end is a lot more clear than the rockets in the Yamaha series. Although these are from a couple models back. I know they retooled them. But I would definitely recommend the Yamahas over the rockets if you can get them for cheap. I got these for super cheap off Craigslist like 5 years ago, a number of years ago. So I've been digging them because I got hella good value out of these. So I'm definitely on board with the Yammy Hammies. Alright, that was G Ammo. Thanks for sending in. Fuck, what's happening? Camp mark is done. Okay, there we go. Alright. Next up we got Meeksta. Leon Meek. This is straight up Rescue Me. Rescue me when you'll be on my way. Is it not? Did you just... Okay, well, this is totally not what I expected at all. This is I think I just heard this. I was replaying Putt Putt Goes to the Moon yesterday. This was on it. All right. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know how that ended up in here. If that was supposed to be like a hip hop track, it's definitely not. One, having such straightforward, like major chord progressions. Like there's a lot of Motown stuff in hip hop that's gotten sampled, but not like that, especially not replaying it with general MIDI sounds. Yeah. The drums is like whenever you would have like a keyboard and you would put it on like accompaniment mode and you would hit one note and it would play. I mean, that's what the whole thing sounded like. You would hit one note and it would play. You'd pick like swing dance, drum pattern, 140 tempo, and you would hit one note and it would play like some shit around and some goofy chords. So that, I mean, I wouldn't really say that was hip hop at all. And mostly because of the drums. For two reasons. With the right drums, it could have worked, sort of. It would have been more online with what you were working for. And then also the chords and the source material were giving you trouble. So both of those combined put it firmly outside of the realm of things that made me feel like they were hip hop. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Someone was asking if I'll do a guitar solo at the end of the stream. Hell no, I won't. I'm not good at guitar. Guitar is my weakest instrument by far. Also, I have a very shitty guitar. So there's no chance. Alright. Next up we got... These pun names kill me. Capernicush. Capernicush. Clams type beat. Straight up. I mean, I know Clams, he sampled it himself 6 times, but the sample is so done. That's straight up. I mean, that's the same shit as On God. It's the same shit. That's a straight up rip. And you know it. Dan, you know it. Hey, I will play the Goofy Circus organ at the end. That's a request I can oblige. Oh, that was like okay. I don't want to be rude, but I mean, that was a rip. Straight up a rip. It was too fast even. Alright, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I mean, you could have flipped it some other way, and then you didn't. So, that's all I have to say about that one. And you had a goofy name. Alright, this is an OVO type beat from Mching. Let's see what it is. Yeah, I ain't know. Let's see where this goes. Ah. Wow. Not only are the drums halfway in the left channel only, those drum sounds are really not good. They're really holding you back. Those are straight up PlayStation 1. Demo disc drum sounds. Tips and Tricks magazines. Spring 1999 demo disc. Medieval 2. Ape Escape 2. Man, the start of this could have been so dope. That intro, I was like, okay, this is going to be tight. The drum sounds are the biggest thing at the moment. They're pretty ass. And the programming isn't great either. Because this intro was tight. Maybe it's not as tight as I thought it was. This part, I was like, okay, turn up. And then it really let me down. Really, really let me down. I like that there's not even a joke in that. Danny Hughes said, fart type beat. It's not even like a special kind of fart or some euphemism. It's just straight up fart type beat. Oh, that's funny. That's fucking funny. "32 Keys in the Twitch chat asks, if I was locked in the studio with one artist, who would it be? I mean, you know, gotta say Kanye, because it's always been my dream to get signed to a 5-year contract and then never get let to put an album out. Shout out Sci-Hi the Prince, who I don't really care about, but they really did him dirty. Actually, no. He can rap, but that was a dumb fucking joke. But I'd probably say Kanye just because I think it'd be fun to talk to him. Make some bullshit music. All right. Next up, we got Logan C, aka oh my god. Okay, Crane Wreck. This track's called Warrior. Alright, Crane Wreck. Second to last, the penultimate track, if you will. Let's hear it. The timpani are killing me. Lose the timpani. Okay. I've been riding through my old hood. I feel like this could be some Childish Gambino shit from 2011. Okay, swerve. You know that we about to get it. You know that we about to get it. Half a dozen donuts and a couple with it. Got a donut hole and kolache with it. Jalapeno bread, got the cheese too. What you about to eat, but that's what we need to. Got the chocolate sprinkles and the rainbow dude. I'ma come through and rain on you. I'm sort of into the horns now. Know that we about to go. Know that we about to get it. You ain't even gotta know. You know that we about to get it. Warrior, it's a warrior, it's a warrior. It's a warrior, it's a warrior, it's a. That's the shit that I be. This horn riff is pretty sick. I'm gonna sample this and steal it. And fuck you over. This is 8 months old. I don't care. 8 months old. What you think I'm about to get it, dude? They always call me young, they do. And I'm in there like an armadillo. It's just a loop now. Alright, so the intro, I don't know about. You almost lost me with the intro. With all the timpani and the goofy ass notes. And then it hit the pretty dope part. With the horns. I think the bass should come in earlier. Be more prominent. It was mixed pretty. It was mixed pretty clean, honestly. Yeah, everyone's definitely talking about the Drake part. I mean, yeah, it hit that like quiet breakdown part. I mean, that was pretty dope. I would lose the intro, honestly. And then I would just come in with that main horn part. Maybe save the intro for something else. That's pretty tight. I was into that. Even though it's 8 months old. That's okay. It was dope enough. All right. We got one more beat. Then I'm gonna play the goofy organ intermission music, and then that's it. All right, because I gotta run some errands before Frank and Mindy, Rick and Morty starts. If you're not watching Rick and Morty, the fuck are you watching? All right, we got one more to end it. Frank Squad, are you here? This is the high pressure situation where you're last. Let's see what you got. Frank Squad. Alright, so far we got this one sample getting hit over and over again. Okay. Underwater Squad. The drums are a little messy on the low end with the kick. I'd maybe lose the like chant noise thing, because these vocal samples are smooth. DBC, right after I said it, lose the chant. A lot of us in the chat were on the same wavelength. I think the programming is a little lopsided. I'm a little busy in a bad way where it's making the hits lose their impact. I don't think it really went anywhere as much as it should have. The sequencing was a little strange. The arrangement, I mean, how it went back and forth too frequently from the quiet to the loud part. And some of the drum programming, I would, like, if you straight up copied some, like, if you started with a cardiac hi-hat loop on that, which has been showing up all over the place in Beats on the Critique, and then just did some, like, basic drums, would be dope. I think you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can save some of those weird patterns for, like, a build-up pre-chorus part, and then just hit the more straightforward drums that people might be used to, and that would be dope. If that was the case, go more typical. I would think it would hit a lot harder and be a lot more dope. Even if it was some drums ripped straight out of something else, and then save the weird shit for a little pre-chorus, mix it up, and then have a more basic foundation. But I like that sample. It's a good way to start the track, I think. It could work for sure. I really got to do that John Cena breakdown, don't I? I will. All right. Renzo the Lion asks, I guess he's posing this question to everybody. Or he's asking me, but I'll pose the question to everybody. What motivates you to create music? He says, even after watching the first lessons that I put up, doesn't know where to start. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. It's hard to say per se. Like me, it's just like, damn, I'll just sit down and think, damn, I want to make some dope shit. And so I sit down and I make some dope shit. Even if you have to force yourself to just do it. Because I think when you're first starting out, there's that huge disconnect between, like, especially when you first start out, like day one, when you're downloading shit and you're Googling, you're like, man, how do I make beats? Oh yeah, I got this program. Oh hell yeah. And you download all this shit and you got like all this energy and you're like, fuck yeah. and then you get something installed, and then you have no idea what you're doing. Straight up, no clue. And then that can sort of kill it. That can stop a dead in its tracks, and I think it does for a lot of people. And so even if you have to force yourself to, because at first it's totally separate. It's like you're doing schoolwork when you're learning what to do at first, almost. And just, you sort of just have to keep at it for a while until you can have this creative idea, and then it'll come closer and closer to the actual execution, because they start way separate. Because you're like, damn, I want to do this, but I have no idea how, and then yeah. You got to learn what you're doing, and then once you start to know what you're doing, it'll come easier, but you might have to sort of make yourself do it for a while. I hope that answers your question, Renzo. But while I load up, I'll play this beat I made earlier. Y'all people on Twitch, some people in the chat might have missed it. I'll play this while I load up the Goofy Circus organ. But that's it for this stream. I'll be back on Wednesday nights. Hopefully after August. August is sort of busy for me. I'll be able to pick back up more recreation streaming, more beat making streaming. Because I miss doing those. So be on the lookout for those. And yeah, let me load up this goofy ass organ. I gotta rap on it. No, I'm not gonna rap on it. You can't rap on that shit. DBC, I'm gonna try to get together some local beat battles. I might put some shit online. Some like bracket, if I can code it. If I can. Renzo, I hope so too. I hope that was a good answer. I hope you keep at it. Just keep fucking doing it. Okay. Which fucking... I found this hysterical... if you've ever used vintage organs from Native Instruments, they have these hilarious... they sound really good. I mean, a lot of the patches are modeled after real songs. Like, they got like Oye Como Va and Paler Shade of White. And just some classic, like, organ shit. They got a ton. And they sound really good. But I was fucking around with them. Some of them sound so funny. Let me find the one that's right. Just so I can knock out this goofy ass. I like this House of the Rising Sun one. Sounds so good. Let me just knock out this goofy ass. Which one is it? There's one that sounds... That'll work. Okay. What a way to end the stream is with this fucking song. So So I'm just going to play this until I get tired of it, which will probably be about 10 minutes. So make sure to just close your window as soon as possible. As soon as possible after hearing this song start. No, that's not right. Hold on, let me get a gospel one. There it is. All right, y'all ready? I'll catch y'all later. I'm sorry for playing this, but it was requested of me. All right. All right, I'll catch y'all later.